host of the Gridiron.
All right. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. Oh my God. If you give my video a thumbs up, maybe share my video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. I would absolutely love it. Thank you. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? It's totally free of charge. But if you're subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel, description box below, very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,500 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group down there 365. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, here we are. Another weekend is upon us, but this time there's no football. Is what it is. The season has ended. However, what I do love, good day. About this time of the season, between like the college and the pros, it's kind of like the 8 days of Hanukkah or whatever. It's like each month is like a little gift, right? They keep giving you, right? I mean, the combine is at the end of this month, so you got that to look for. I mean, today's what? The 15th, soon to be the 16th. Obviously, February is a short month, so only 28 days, unless it's a leap year, then it's only 29. But for the most part, usually 28 days, and boom, and we're into February, and I'm almost off and running. It's crazy, right? But so you got the combine, and then you have the pro days, right, and all of that. So some guys will show up at the combine and they'll just maybe weigh in or something, or because they don't want to throw. They don't want to throw at the combine, right? So they want to throw at the pro days, where they're in more comfortable surroundings, throwing through all their own players and stuff like that. Right? Which I understand to a certain degree, because especially if you're or some guys maybe, throw at the combine and they have their own pro day, right? But, I can see some of the guys expected to be taken in the top, you know what I mean? Especially if you're a quarterback, right? And you're throwing at the combine. There's a lot of things a little unfamiliar, right? Like you're throwing at unfamiliar guys, unfamiliar area, unfamiliar surroundings and all of that stuff, unfamiliar coaches telling you what to do, blah, 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 So, especially if you're going to be one of the top guys taken, it behooves you, to be comfortable, right? However, there's the good and the bad with that, of course, right? Let me take away this here. We'll talk about Mr. Stafford in just a second here. But I mean, because in the world of the NFL, it doesn't give a rat's rear end if you're comfortable. It really doesn't, right? So you got to give a lot of credit to guys who do show up at the combine and whatever, whether it's throwing the football or whether they're a wide receiver or whatever, right? Guys just are not, bothered or whatever. They're just there, to face the adversity, right? The challenges that face them, at the combine, right? I said there's a lot of different things, right? So you got to give a lot of those guys a lot of credit because, I mean, unfortunately, the way it is nowadays, it's all about that, right? You got some guys that don't play in the final bowl game because they don't want to get injured. Because they get injured, then we'll be taking the top 5 of the draft. Some guys don't want to throw at the combine because their draft stock might plummet a little bit if they throw. So it's it is what it is. But I said that whoever does go to the combine and works out and does all the drills and everything like that, you got to give them a lot of credit. A lot of credit. But so talked about Mr. Stafford here. He seems like he's the big I don't know. Well, some of the articles I've been reading and stuff, kind of the talk of the town, shall we say, for the time being. Now he is due a roster bonus, right? So I mean, we got about 4 weeks. And free agency's here. I mean, how crazy is that, right? But he's due a roster bonus about a week or so after free agency starts. So if he's on the Rams roster, they owe $4 million, I think it is. I'm going to read the article here. So, once again, this could all be just, one of those, crazy, It's kind of like, remember, like last year, what's going on with Saquon? We signing him? Is he going free agent? What's happening? What's going on, right? And of course, we know how that worked out, right? But, things like this happen every year. So this is the one thing we're talking about here. Now, you can almost be positive that if the Giants go and grab, grab Stafford, right? Just saying, right? They trade for him because in one of his articles talks about what it might cost, for a trade. And hey, I'm Adam Schefter. I'm Shefty. He chimes in on a certain point or a particular point about the Stafford trade that may or may not happen, right? So he chimes in as well. But the thing is that the Giants were to trade, because that's what they'd have to do for Matthew. It's not just picking a dude up in free agency. They'd have to trade for Matthew Stafford. Oops, sorry, buddy. It's going to cost some draft capital. So you can, they ain't trading away. We see here. I mean, I'd be shocked. They traded away some draft capital, and they took Shedeur Sanders at pick number 3, or they took Cam Ward at number 3. I'd really be shocked about that one. So it's going to be like either or, right, one or the other. But so what would be a some reasonable offer, right, if they were to want to trade with the Rams? Now the thing is also, he has a contract with the Rams. Now it could also be something along the lines like the Giants. Sometimes how it winds up going is your draft. It might be worth also a little bit of money too, right? I mean, if you give them a good enough, if the Giants were to trade good enough draft capital, maybe, because he still has a contract. He's on the contract for 2 more years. Maybe the Rams might eat some of the contract, maybe a little bit. So, but once again, putting the cart before the horse. But let's see here. Where are we at here? Okay. This is Matthew Stafford. All right. What would a sensible trade scenario for the Giants to obtain Matthew Stafford? This proposed trade scenario could work for both sides. Giants need a veteran quarterback that much is known not only deep within league circles, but also among anyone who follows the team and knows the game. Well, speculation begins to intensify that the Los Angeles Rams might be willing to move Matthew Stafford to a Giants team that some might view as desperate, given the grace period given to the general manager Joe Schoen and head coach Brian Daboll. There is a belief that the Rams are in the driver's seat when it comes to asking price for Stafford and can demand a first-round pick as part of the compensation for this contract. Who has the upper hand in the negotiations? The Rams are not in the driver's seat, far from it, thanks to their own doing. Stafford has a $4 million roster bonus due on March 19th, which would hit the Rams' salary cap if he is still on their roster by that date. Therefore, if they want to optimize their savings, it is in their best interest not to get into a back and forth scenario to try to move him. So while they can certainly go ahead and ask for as many first-round picks as they want, that doesn't mean that the Giants or any other team, for that matter, should agree. And yeah, I'm not giving. I mean, yeah, the bad. And certainly ain't no way in HELL hockey sticks I'm giving up the number 3 pick in the draft for if this guy was whatever 25 years old, 26, 20, or 30 maybe 30. He still had another 10 years to go in his career, 7-8 years to go in his career. Yeah, maybe think about that, but no, not now. So while they can certainly go ahead and ask for as many first-round picks as they want, that doesn't mean anybody's going to give it to them. CBS Sports' Tyler Sullivan, who put forth 3 potential trade scenarios for 3 different teams to acquire the Rams quarterback, has one that probably makes the most sense for the Giants. Sullivan proposes the Giants send their second-round pick, number 34 overall, and a 2026 second-round pick to the Rams in exchange for Stafford, and that the Giants not include the number 3 overall pick in the draft, which they currently own. If 2 second-round picks gets it done, it could be hard to deny for Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll, Sullivan wrote. While it would be nice to find a more long-term option at this position, both of their seats are expected to be quite hot at the start of the season, and Stafford will give them a good chance to start strong and cool the temperature, which shouldn't be overlooked. Sullivan also pointed out that having an extra second-round pick this year wouldn't be bad for the Rams. Getting 2 second-round picks would still be a solid return for the Rams, especially number 34 overall. In theory, they could package that and their first-round pick, number 26, to move up if a prospect that they like begins to drop, he says. So on the surface, it would be a win-win for both teams if such a deal were to happen. And I say, why is Stafford is the best option if available? For the Giants, though, who are planning to add a veteran anyway, Stafford represents the best option, and his presence would not necessarily remove the need to draft a quarterback this year. But taking one, number 3 overall would be just I'd be shocked. Maybe Jackson Dart, maybe in the 3rd round or something like, if he makes it that far, or somebody one of the later round picks, right? But rather gives them a solid veteran option to take control of the offense. At the same time, a rookie acclimates, and before anyone argues that the 3rd overall pick should be ready to hit the ground running. Remember, there is a precedent for the Giants to take this approach. New York did just that with Eli Manning. Right, the 1st overall pick in the 2004 draft, whom they acquired via trade. Manning sat for more than half a season behind Kurt Warner before he took control of the offense, and the Giants never looked back. Well, they looked back his first 6 starts, because when he went in, they were 5-4. By the time he won his final game, going into the final game of the season, he went from 5-4 to 5-10. So they finally won the final game of the season against the Cowboys. Biggest plus for the Giants, besides having a proven veteran option, is that it now gives them a little more flexibility with the 3rd overall pick. Giants, who are likely to rework Stafford's contract if they do acquire him via trade, will likely look to give him a 3 or 4 year deal with an out after 2 years, like Daniel Jones, right? Like what the Eagles do, right? They signed their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, to $51 million a year, but it's not really $51 million a year over 5 years. It's $51 million, kind of more like almost like 9 years, because the Eagles put void years on the end of the contract. So they're not actually paying the guys their full salary in the 5-year contract. They put it on credit card. It's all on credit card, right? The Philadelphia void years. The Giants and most of the other teams try to get the contracts off the books when the contract is up, right? So after the contract is up, the money's in the guy's pocket and the contract is off the books, right? If the Giants select the quarterback at number 3, that prospect can take his time developing. If he's ready this year, then great. If it's next year, then great. Either way, the Giants will have to have the veteran option as a fallback. If the Giants don't like either of the top quarterbacks in this draft, and that's another one of the things. You have no idea. You can just say, well, we should take this. Whoa, what's up, buddy? Now, I'm going to go over to Adam Schefter says, yeah, no way. No way in heck are they trading that number 3 pick. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Giants need OT in second if don't draft quarterback. Offensive tackle. Ryder must have money. Oh, man. And the Giants don't like either of the top quarterbacks in this draft. And that's one of the things you don't know. You have no idea. I can sit here and say I looked at all the Shedeur Sanders tape and the Cam Ward film, and I broke it down, and these guys are top 3 guys. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter what Santa Claus thinks, what I think, what the Lucky Charms leprechaun thinks. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. Mel Kiper thinks. Doesn't matter. It matters what they think. Right? So let's not forget, right? If they don't like either one of the quarterbacks, they can go best player available. They got Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham. Right? One of those guys would be there without question. One of those guys has to be there. One of those 3 guys. Or trade down with a team that does. I mean, trade back if they wanted to. Collect some more draft picks. Now, that's also something to think about as well, too, right? They should figure if they're going to trade away their 2nd-round pick to get Stafford, just saying, if, according to this article, right? The Giants might want to maybe trade back, collect some additional draft capital, right? The latter option would enable them to possibly recoup the 2nd-round pick they'd give up in a trade for Stafford, plus maybe even get an extra 1st-round pick in 2026 that they could use to get their long-term quarterback option from, right? Because the next year's class is supposed to be a little bit better than this year's class. And then final thoughts. If we had discussed this deal about 5 years ago, there would have been a little question of Stafford being worth at least a 1st-round pick. Yep. Oh, yeah. But while he's still a very good quarterback capable of elevating the talent around him, the fact remains that he's not only approaching the tail end of his career, but he's also had some durability issues over the last several seasons. Now, that's one of the things, Giants do need to keep the dude upright. Guy starts getting pummeled. That's not going to be good. The proposed compensation of 2 2nd-round picks sounds more than fair for a team looking to move on from a 37-year-old quarterback and optimize its cap savings in the deal. The Rams insist on a 1st-round pick, though. You can be sure that it will be a deal breaker, not just for the Giants, but for any other team likely to have interest. Now, then you also have here. This is where Adam Schefter, the Shefty, slams the New York Giants Matthew Stafford trade rumors. Says, no way in HEL double hockey sticks it happens, he just says. If you're hearing rumors about the New York Giants trading their number 3 overall pick to Matthew Stafford, don't hold your breath. ESPN's Adam Schefter just shut that idea down completely, saying there's no way in HEL double hockey sticks the Giants would make that deal. Where did it all come from? It started when Colin Cowherd. Yeah, Colin. Yeah, I remember seeing that. He said he went on his show and he was proposing something. He proposed it to like an NFL executive, I believe it was, or something like that. And he came on and he said, "Yeah, I proposed the Giants." And they said the Rams want the number 3 pick. So Colin Cowherd floated the idea that the Rams might trade Stafford to the Giants, who were in desperate need of a quarterback. Given Stafford's hefty contract and the Rams' rumored frustrations with him, the speculation gained traction. However, Schefter quickly killed the buzz. Absolutely, yeah. So that's not going to happen. I mean, I do remember obviously seeing that about Colin Cowherd putting that out there. You know, the Giants trade the number 3 pick and they'll get but that's not going to happen. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, who knows? At the time, it seemed like a good deal with the Giants. Remember, we got Darren Waller for a 3rd-round pick. That seemed pretty good at the time. Just at the time, it seemed like it doesn't seem too good now. But, you know, so anything's possible. Anything's possible. I'll have to wait and see. But that's always something to keep an eye on, because as I said in that article, is that when March 19th rolls around, if Stafford's still on the Rams, they owe $4 million. So if they're trying to save some money, just try to move them as soon as they can.